Hi and welcome back. Today's project is this beautiful coaster. I'm going to show you how to make it. I'm going to use 2.1 millimeters crochet hook. Down below in the description, as usual, I'll put information about the yarn, and let's get into it. I'm going to start with the pink color, but you can use whatever color you like. I'm going to start with a chain of 6. And stitch into the first chain. Now we have this loop that we are going to work in. Now to start round 1, chain 3, and we are going to make 11 double crochets into the loop. Okay, we have 11 plus the initial chain of 3 that we make, total of 12 stitches around the loop. Now to finish the round, I'm going to make a slip stitch into the third chain. 1, 2, and here is the third chain, and 1 slip stitch. Now for round 2, I'm going to chain 3, and I'm going to make 1 double crochet into the same stitch that the chain 3 came from. Okay, like this. Now into the next stitch, it's not very visible, but it's right here. I'm going to make 1 double crochet and then 1 more into the same stitch, 2 double crochets again into the next stitch, and 2 double crochets into the next stitch. Okay, make 2 double crochets in each of the stitches until the end, and I'll meet you there. Okay, to finish the round, make 1 slip stitch into the third chain stitch. Here's the initial chain, 1, 2, 3. Here's the third chain stitch. Okay, at the end of this round you should have a total of 24 stitches. Now to start round 3, chain 4. I'm going to make 1 double crochet into the same stitch, then chain 1. We're going to skip the next stitch, and into the other we're going to make 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 double crochet into the same stitch, then chain 1, skip 1 stitch, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, and 1 double crochet into the same stitch, like this, and again chain 1, skip 1 stitch, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, and 1 double crochet into the same stitch. Okay, repeat until then, and I'll meet you there. Okay, to finish the round, chain 1, and I'm going to make 1 slip stitch into the third chain. Here's the initial chain of 4 that we made. This is the first, second, and third chain stitch, going in there and making 1 slip stitch. Okay, now chain 1 and cut the yarn. Okay, you can hide these strands or you can leave them for later. And now we're going with the beige. Okay, to start round 4, I'm just going to make one single crochet between a pair of 2 double crochets. It doesn't matter which one, just start somewhere. Let's start here, like this. Then chain 3, and I'm going to make 1 double crochet into the same chain space, like this. Then chain 1 and 2 more double crochets into the same chain space, okay, like this. Chain 1 again. We're going between the next 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more into the same space. Okay, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 more. Okay, chain 1 again into the next space, 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets. Okay, repeat until the end. To finish this round, just make one slip stitch into the 3rd chain, 1, 2 and 3, like this, and one slip stitch between the 2 pairs of double crochets. Now round 5, we're going to start with chain 3, 1 double crochet into this same chain space here, chain 2 and 2 double crochets in the same place, like this. Then we have chain 1, we're going to make 2 double crochets into this chain space here, 1, 2, then chain 2 and 2 more double crochets into the same chain space, like this. Chain 1 and we're going into the next chain space, again 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 more. Okay, the steps are the same for the whole round. I'll meet you there to show you how to finish it. We're going to finish this round the same way as the other one. I'm going to make slip stitch into the 3rd chain, like this, and 1 slip stitch into the chain space. Now round 6, again chain 3. This time we're going to make 2 double crochets after the initial chain, 1 and 2, chain 3 and 3 more double crochets into the same space. Okay, like this. Chain 1, and we're moving on to the next chain space. 3 double crochets, chain 3, and 3 more. Chain 1, and into the next chain space. 3 double crochets, chain 3, and 3 double crochets into the same chain space. Okay, repeat the same steps until the end of the round, and I'll meet you there. To finish the round, I'm going to make one slip stitch into the third chain, as usual, like this. As the number of double crochets here grows and the space until we reach this chain space also grows, we're going to have to make one more slip stitch somewhere here in the middle, and then one slip stitch into the chain space. Okay, now on to round 7, chain 3. In this round we are going to increase the number of double crochets, so we have our chain and we're going to make 3 more double crochets, 2 and 3, and then we have chain 3 and 4 double crochets into the same chain space. Three, 4, chain 1, and we are going into the next chain space with 4 double crochets, 4, chain 3, and another 4 double crochets into the same space. Okay, now we have chain 1 and going directly into the next chain space. Repeat the steps and I'll wait for you in the end. To finish the round, don't forget to make chain 1 between the groups of double crochets, and we're going to finish it the same way as the other rounds, with chain with slip stitch into the third chain. Okay, now chain 1 and cut the yarn, and we are going to continue the next rounds with pink. So very quickly I'll hide these loose ends so they don't get in the way. We're going to start round 8 with the pink yarn. Just choose somewhere to start and make one single crochet between a group of double crochets, then chain 3. In this round we're going to increase again the number of double crochets, so we have our initial chain and we're going to make 4 double crochets. Now chain 4 and 5 more double crochets into the same chain space. Okay, like this. Chain 1 and we are going into the next chain space with 5 double crochets, chain 4 and another 5 double crochets into the same chain space. Okay, the steps are the same. Continue and I'll meet you at the end of the round. Okay, to finish the round we are going to make again one slip stitch into the 3rd chain. Like this, and we have to get to this chain space here, so in each of these stitches we're going to make a slip stitch until we get into the chain space. Okay, like this. For round 9, chain 3 and make 13 double crochets into the same chain space. Okay, total of 13 double crochets plus the initial chain here, 14 stitches in this chain space. Now chain 2 and we're moving on to the next chain space. Here we're going to make 14 double crochets. 14 double crochets, chain 2, and we're moving on to the next chain space, and the next and the next. Repeat the same steps until the end, and I'll meet you there. Okay, to finish the round, I'm just simply going to make 2 chains here and slip stitch into the 3rd chain, okay, like this. And this is how it's looking so far. Round 10 is our last round. Start with chain 1, and now we're going to make 1 single crochet in each of these 13 stitches here. Like this, and then 1 single crochet around this chain. Chain 3. Now we're going to work into the previous rows until we reach this part in pink here. So basically, turn slightly, and here we're going to work into, let me show you first, into this stitch here, this stitch here, 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 and this stitch here. So first I'm going to make 1 slip stitch into this double crochet from the below row, 1 slip stitch. Then we have chain 3 again. We're going down into the next row, slip stitch, then chain 3, okay, moving down onto the next round, slip stitch, chain 3 again, into the next round, chain 3, next round, chain 3, and now that we reach this pink part here, I'm just going to make 1 slip stitch around the chain and chain 3, and now we're going to turn and go back up again, but we're going to work on this side. I'm going to make 1 slip stitch in each of these stitches until I reach the top. So turn slightly. Here's our first stitch, making 1 slip stitch like this, chain 3, then we go on to the next round, 1 slip stitch, chain 3, next round, slip stitch, chain 3, next round, chain 3, next round, chain 3, and here into this around this chain 1 single crochet. Okay, here is how it's looking so far. Now we continue with the next group of single crochets. Here we're going to make one single crochet in each of the 14 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. One single crochet around the chain, chain 3, and we're going back again into the previous rounds. Turn slightly, go into the stitch, make slip stitch, chain 3, go down around and make again one slip stitch, chain 3, again going into the next round, one slip stitch, chain 3, to the next round, one slip stitch, chain 3, the next round, chain 3. Now we've reached the pink area. I'm going to make one slip stitch around the chain like this. And then we're going back up until we reach the top. Chain 3 and turn slightly, one slip stitch into the next stitch, chain 3, one slip stitch into the stitch of the next round, chain 3, to the next round, chain 3, and the next, and when we reach the top, one single crochet. Okay, these are the steps. Now you have to continue with 14 single crochets here, then one single crochet around the chain, and go until on the rows below until you reach the pink part, then turn around and go back up. Okay, make these steps until the end of the round and I'll meet you there. Okay guys, almost at the end. Let's make the last part together. Just like before, one single crochet into the chain space, then chain 3, and we're going down one slip stitch into the round which is below this one, chain 3, then one slip stitch into the round below, chain 3, going further down, and the next round, chain 3, the next round, chain 3, and when we reach the pink part, one slip stitch into the chain space. Okay, let me show you, like this. Then we have chain 3, turn slightly, and we're going up, but on this side. One slip stitch, chain 3, slip stitch into the row above, chain 3, next round, the next, and when we reach the chain at the top, one single crochet. Okay, here into the first stitch, just make one slip stitch, chain 1, and we're ready to cut the yarn. Okay, this is it, guys. Hide all ends and you're ready. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.